I really don't like about socialists, it's the notion that capitalism is exploitation. Like, they act like working for someone is evil and that it just shouldn't happen. That in order to get paid, you gotta do something for someone. And that's bullshit. You see, they act like your boss is evil. Not if he's rude or overbearing or micromanaging or insensitive. They act like your boss is evil just for being a boss. You know, he pays you, but only if you do the work. And they act like that's exploitation. Capitalism exploitation. Capitalism exploits the worker. They have to work for someone. If they don't work for someone, they don't get paid. And if they don't get paid, they don't get fed. Because stuff costs money. And that's evil. What they don't get is your boss needs stuff too. Your boss needs to get paid. Your boss needs food. Your boss needs goods and services. They need stuff too, just as you need stuff. So in order to get stuff, they offer a trade. You work for me, and I give you money. Or even some employee benefits on top of that. Insomniac Games, for example, gives you free food from the kitchen fridge. You know, stocked by the person that owns the company on their dime. They're paying some money off of profits they could be making for benefits for the employees, which is real nice of them. So, anyways, since your boss needs stuff and you need stuff, you make a trade. You trade your labor for money, and as I just said before, potentially other stuff too. These communists/socialists act like you don't get anything in return for working for someone. You just do the work, and then nothing happens. You don't get anything in return, even money. And then if they do acknowledge you get money in return, they act like, well, it's too little. You're being exploited. You need to get paid more. You know, you're being paid a slave wage, which is a complete oxymoron. If you're a slave, you don't get paid. Period. And it's forced. You can have forced labor, but if you're getting paid, it's not slavery. It's not a slave wage. Am I right? Yeah. It's funny of them to act like that the wages have to be determined by the government rather than by the free market. And only the government knows how to pay people, and everyone else is just totally incompetent at doing so. They also forget in capitalism, working is voluntary. You made an agreement with your employer for how much to get paid and what to do. You may not get paid as much as you would have preferred. I mean, you did have to compromise to meet in the middle to make the agreement, but in the end, it's what you agreed upon. So, it's voluntary, so it's not exploitation. No one's getting ripped off, because everything that was agreed upon was given, or traded, you know, whatever. However you want to be technical. So, exploitation can only happen if you're being ripped off, if you're not getting what you should be getting, or you're having to do things you didn't agree upon. I mean, come on now. So, for them to say capitalism's exploitation shows they don't know what exploitation is, or capitalism. And also, there's the whole I should just get things for free to a degree by force with them. Basically, the feed me because I exist argument, or the feed me because I need it argument. Yeah, we all need goods and services. Yeah, we all need goods and services. I'll agree on that. But what I won't agree on is that people should receive these goods and services by force. You can't just take from people, even if you need it. What you're supposed to do is work for it. They get what they need and want, and you get what you need and want. Because keep in mind, the people you work for, they need stuff too. You need stuff, and they need stuff. So how about you make a trade so you both get what you need and want, rather than someone just being parasitic and leeching off the other. If people just gave, and didn't take in return, they wouldn't have anything they needed and wanted, and they would suffer for it. So I'm tired of this whole having to work for stuff is exploitation mentality, because it's not. Also, communists and socialists don't get that communism/socialism was so horrible in the past. In fact, it's so horrible now that we just shouldn't try anymore. We shouldn't ever attempt it ever again. Well, they shouldn't. I hate to use we to mean they in, remote association to us, but I guess I actually use it sometimes, so I apologize. But anyways, look at all the attempts at communism that's led to death, poverty, destruction, famine, Stalin's 3 5-year plans, Mao Zedong's plans, Fidel Castro did some shit, it hasn't been good. And things aren't looking up in Venezuela with its socialism. So why are they still peddling this failed economic policy? I don't get it. They keep saying, oh, we just need to get the right people in charge. Well, inherently doesn't work, okay? Doesn't matter who you get in charge. It's going to be corrupt. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be tyrannical. So, nobody should just put people in that kind of power. They just shouldn't. It shouldn't happen. We shouldn't have socialism. We shouldn't have communism. We should just have capitalism. So, as few people to nobody gets hurt, we're all prosperous and we're all free. And yet, they don't want that. They still cling to their communism. They still cling to their socialism. They still think the state is the way to do things and that might is right. And that's not helping anyone. It's not helping anyone to act like it has to be government to do things and that government works, because it doesn't. So, I'm hoping by the end of this century, there can be no remaining communist countries. As in, they all switch to capitalism. Or at least not communism or socialism. In terms of government, they wouldn't be communist/socialist anymore. And in terms of economics, they'd be capitalists. China wouldn't be communist anymore. Including even in forms of politics. Neither would Vietnam or Cuba, or Laos, and of course, not North Korea. Although I did hear that wasn't super technically communism. I heard it was Juche, which is pretty much very similar to communism with some slight differences. So, all I can say is that I want people to be free, and in order to be free and prosperous, I want people to be free and prosperous. They have to not be forcibly obligated to just give stuff to people. It needs to be voluntary to give stuff to people or to trade for. It can't be involuntary. You can't be forced to pay taxes for welfare. And you can't be forced to sell your house in eminent domain. If something's not for sale, it's not for sale. And if you don't want to give, or you only want to give if you're willing to make a trade, then that should be that. So, yeah, as for the no more communist countries, if they're not communism, they may be something not as bad, but still bad, like democracy or constitutional monarchy or constitutional republic, but at least it wouldn't be as bad as communism. So hopefully no more communist/socialist countries by the end of the 21st century. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Not much of a video, but I thought I should make it. It's what I was feeling, and it's real easy to put together, so yeah, this is what I got. Like, subscribe, fave, share, yeah, alright, bye.